Good afternoon. This is Mary Murphy in the Pix 11 newsroom. I'm at the assignment desk, and we have breaking news that we are actually breaking here on Pix 11 exclusively. That 11th suspect that the NYPD was looking for in the murder of Lesandro Guzman-Fliez, known as Junior, has turned himself in to the 48th precinct in the Bronx with his lawyer. You see on the computer monitor behind me, this is the suspect that police were looking for. He was seen emerging from a white Acura on the night of June 20th. He had a distinctive man bun on top of his head. A lot of people thought that the suspect looked like a female, but we were told by the police they were always looking for a man. And apparently the guy got scared. He knew he was wanted. He went with his lawyer to the 48th precinct, and he is there now being questioned in the case. Now, we are told that this guy was part of the foot chase that started on the night of Wednesday, June 20th. Are we receiving more information now? We have, okay, this is Ava Pittman. She works with us here.
Hello, everyone.
You from Public Information, New York City Police Department.
Yes.
Okay.
So, public information from New York Police Department. We just received information that they've just arrested Danilo
Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Danilo Pacheco, 21 years old. That is the suspect. When we got the tip that he was a suspect, he was in custody, we were not told at the time what his name is, but now it's officially coming out from police headquarters. 21-year-old Danilo Pacheco of the Bronx. He is charged with murder, manslaughter, gang assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. The interesting thing is that he actually did not go inside the bodega, we're told, when Junior was cornered there on that Wednesday night. He was in the convoy of 4 vehicles, and we know now what makes of cars we're talking about. There was that white Acura, which has been recovered, and this guy, we're told, was in the white Acura. There was a black Dodge that was owned by the murder suspect, Kevin Alvarez, and they're looking for a darker Acura. They still have not recovered that. Also a gray Honda, and I can tell you this. The law enforcement source told me today that the last person they're looking for is the guy who was in the gray Honda. They're not giving out a license plate at this point, but we're told there's one more person that they want. That would be a 12th suspect. Initially, we heard that there were 15 to 20 guys that went in these 4 vehicles when they were on a pursuit of someone from a rival set in the Trinitarios gang. Junior was said to have no gang affiliation. They made a mistake that he might have been part of one of their rival sets, and they went chasing him. But what we have been told in the last week is that Junior was just out that night, and when someone saw him and he looked scared and started running, well, if you see 4 vehicles packed with guys and they look like they're on the lookout for someone, you would get scared too. So they just started giving chase that night, and Junior ran for blocks. He was behind St. Barnabas Hospital. He was near this triangle that's known as the Dioria-Murphy Triangle. He ran past St. Barnabas Hospital. He went across 3rd Avenue. Then he turned down East 183rd Street, and he went to that bodega on the corner of Bathgate Avenue because that was very close to his home. He had been in there many other times, and you've seen the infamous video now of him jumping over the counter, you know, trying to seek haven from these guys that were chasing him. And there were 5 men, at least, that came into the store, found him behind the counter. They punched him, then they dragged him out. And then once they got him out on the sidewalk, if you look at the various videos out there, you see these people that were in the cars parked on the streets. They come running, and they have weapons. They have knives, and at least one had a machete. The lethal wound to Junior's neck was the one to his neck. And then, of course, what so many people were upset about was the fact that when he came back in, stumbling in with this very bad wound, he's bleeding so badly, and they just said, oh, the hospital's across the street.
Sent him right back out into the hospital,
Right.
But that is just a projection from us. But there's no audio to the video, so that's only something that is observed.
Right,
So.
right. No one knows exactly what was said because all we see is what we see. Unless you do some lip reading. And then gestures, of course, were there as well. But, this is a very big development on this Friday. The fact that this 11th suspect has turned himself in. There was a lot of speculation about this particular guy because of the man bun, as they call it, that was on top of his head.
Right.
And so many people said,
This may be a female.
it may be a female. They thought the body looked like a female body. But there are a lot of guys that wear that hairstyle.
Absolutely.
And we had pictures sent to us at
Many
Pix 11
yes.
of possibilities.
Yes.
And some of the pictures, were forwarded, but what we're hearing now is that they do have a suspect, and it's not one of those people that we saw in some earlier pictures. And I guess after he's processed at the 48th precinct, there'll be what we call a walk. And then he'll have to go to court, and there'll be an arraignment. Notice, though, that this guy, like many of the others, is not charged with conspiracy. As far as I know, the only person charged with conspiracy so far is the guy who was the alleged gang leader of that set.
Right.
The set was called Sunset. And actually, the set that they were after was called Sunset. The guys that got into trouble were with the Shore set.
Right, and that was Diego Suero.
Yeah, Diego Suero. He's in custody, and there's no more information coming out of public information, right?
No, this is the latest information.
Right. So what we can tell you now, once again, recapping, 11 suspects now have been arrested and charged in Junior's murder. There is one more person, we are told by our law enforcement source, that is out there that they want, and that guy apparently was in a gray Honda. So if you have any information, please get in touch with the police. 1-800-577-TIPS is Crime Stoppers. You can call the 48th Precinct. You can call Bronx Homicide. And we've also been receiving information too here at Pix 11, but we'll be working on this for our 5 o'clock broadcast, and of course Pix11.com always has the latest. Thank you very much, and we'll check back with you later.